The steady beeping of the heart monitor and the quiet hum of the machines were the only sounds in my hospital room as I drifted in and out of a restless sleep. The surgery had been long and complicated, and though the worst was over, my body ached with a deep, dull pain. The medication helped, but it also left me groggy, tangled somewhere between wakefulness and dreams. I wasn't sure what time it was when I stirred in my hospital bed, my throat dry and my limbs heavy. The room was dark except for the faint glow of the hallway light seeping in through the slightly open door. As my eyes adjusted, I became aware of a figure standing quietly beside my bed. She was a nurse, dressed in an old-fashioned uniform, nothing like the scrubs the modern nurses wore. Her crisp white dress fell just below her knees, and a small cap rested neatly on her dark, neatly pinned hair. There was something about her presence that was instantly comforting. "You're awake," she said softly, her voice warm and reassuring. I tried to speak, but my throat was too dry. As if anticipating my need, she reached for a cup of water and guided a straw to my lips. The cool liquid soothed my parched throat, and I managed a whisper of thanks. She smiled gently. "You're healing well," she said, adjusting the sheets around me with careful hands. "Try to rest." There was something calming about her. Her touch was light, yet firm, and her presence felt safe, almost motherly. As she checked my IV and gently smoothed my pillow, I felt my heavy eyelids begin to close again. Before I drifted off, I managed to ask, "What's your name?" She hesitated for the briefest moment before answering. "Margaret." Then sleep took me. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the large window, painting the sterile white walls with a soft golden glow. I felt a little stronger, though still sore. The night felt almost like a dream, but the memory of Nurse Margaret's kindness lingered vividly. When the morning nurse came in to check my vitals, I decided to ask about her. "The nurse last night, Margaret," I said, my voice still hoarse from disuse. "She was here in the middle of the night. She checked on me." The nurse furrowed her brow. "Margaret?" she repeated, clearly puzzled. "Yes, she was wearing an old-fashioned uniform. She gave me water and fixed my sheets." The confusion in the nurse's eyes deepened. "I don't know of any Margaret on staff," she said, flipping through the patient log. "And, no one checked in on you overnight besides the usual rounds. I was on shift." A strange chill passed over me. "Are you sure?" She nodded. "Positive." I didn't know what to say. I wasn't delirious, was I? The memory of Margaret's presence was too clear, too real to have been a dream. But there was no logical explanation. It wasn't until later that afternoon, when a different nurse came to deliver my medication, that I decided to ask again. "I had a nurse named Margaret take care of me last night," I said carefully. "But no one seems to know who she is." The nurse, a woman in her 50s with graying blonde hair, froze. Her expression shifted from polite professionalism to something unreadable. "Margaret," she murmured almost to herself. She hesitated, then looked at me closely. "What did she look like?" I described her, the neat white dress, the dark hair, the gentle smile. With each detail, the nurse's face paled slightly. After a long silence, she exhaled and said, "There used to be a nurse here named Margaret. She worked in this hospital decades ago, back when nurses still wore uniforms like the one you described." She swallowed. "She passed away a long time ago, during a surgery. A surgery similar to yours." A shiver ran down my spine. "What?" "She was one of the most caring nurses here," the woman continued. "She looked after her patients as if they were family. People used to say that even after her death, she never really left the hospital. The room felt suddenly colder. My mind raced. Had I really been visited by a ghost? And yet, the memory of her kindness, of her touch, was so real. It wasn't frightening. If anything, it was reassuring. "She still looks after patients," I murmured. The nurse smiled faintly, though her eyes were still full of wonder. "Yes," she said softly. "I suppose she does." I looked down at my hands, remembering the gentle way Margaret had tucked the blankets around me, the way she had whispered for me to rest. And for the first time since my surgery, I truly felt at peace.